good, y'all? Welcome to my review for Daredevil Born Again Season 1, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. Holy shit. What a season, man. This is honestly one of the greatest seasons of television I've ever watched, ladies and gentlemen. And if you guys follow me on Twitter and whatnot, Letterboxd and whatnot, you guys probably have already seen my updated ranking for the MCU of where Born Again is. It's literally right at the top. It's like number 3 now. I was thinking about maybe putting it above No Way Home, but I don't know, man. No Way Home, man, that was something special. I think that just edged out. But then again, with Season 2, man, depending on what we get in Season 2, so that's going to be fully original, not having to worry about any baggage from the previous creative team that was behind this show when they filmed like 5 episodes and they ended up reusing some of that footage and whatnot and then building around it with new stuff. So we're done with that one. Just completing the vision of the guys behind Loki. Maybe this ends up being my number one favorite thing in the MCU. Or at the very least, maybe it'll top No Way Home and take second place. We don't know. I do not know, ladies and gentlemen. We will obviously find out when we get there, man. And yeah, this was such an incredible season, man. Such an incredible show. And it was everything I wished for and more, man, honestly. Born Again was true cinema, a true masterpiece in every sense of the word. A master class in filmmaking. And that's what good art does, make you feel something. I had to put high top for a hot second there, man. Oh man, that Daredevil video made, man, well, was something. But yeah, man, like I'm just gonna jump right in, man, because otherwise I'd just be rambling for no reason. Anyway, so the show starts, of course, the GOAT, my main man, Charlie Cox, Deborah and Wall Carmar de los Reyes, if I pronounce that right, Michael Gandelovine, if I pronounce it right, Wilson Bethel, Vincent D'Onofrio, and many more. And the plot of Born Again is Matt Murdock finds himself in a collision course Wilson Fisk, where their past identities begin to emerge. So, cast, man, phenomenal. John Bernthal, in the 2 episodes we see him in, man, is fucking brilliant. Charlie Cox, man, Jesus fucking Christ, give my man 10 enemies. Like, it is honestly shocking how much he can still, in like new ways he finds to portray Daredevil in this show, man. Like, I'm pretty sure I mentioned that in my first impressions of the first episode, which I will say, I'm going to keep this spoiler-free minus what happens in the first episodes of the entire show is sort of built around that, but I will say, spoiler warning for anyone that's watched this video in the future that actually hasn't watched the show for whatever reason. So major spoiler for the first episode. Anyway, as you guys know, Foggy dies, and that whole sequence that we get with him, right when Bullseye is getting sentenced, when he says he gets life, man, just everything for Charlie was doing in that scene was fucking brilliant. There's so many other incredible scenes like this with Charlie's performance just shines, man. Obviously, the big one is really the first meeting between Matt and Frank, and when Frank still has like the beard hobo look going on for a bit, man, like he did in Punisher season 1 for a hot second. That sequence, man, Charlie was brilliant, man. The whole thing with Muse when he was saving someone. I was about to get the gig done here. That's I'll save for the spoiler discussions. But yeah, that was amazing as well, man. So many other points that you can point to of Charlie's performance is shining, man. He's brilliant, man. He's brilliant. Vincent D'Onofrio, once again, fucking brilliant as always, man. But Jesus Christ, man. Bro, some of the shit they be doing with Fisk this season with this show, man, it's honestly pretty crazy. I don't want to get too into specifics. All I'll say is that they actually went and topped the car door kill from the first season, man, which is honestly kind of insane. I never thought they'd even attempt that. And like, you guys know, not showing, when we saw that in season 1, man, they didn't really show you much of just like the blood and like his, decapitated corpse, man. Here, man, nah, bro. They're showing it all its grisly detail. It was definitely done practically, which I appreciate, man. And it's in broad daylight. You see fucking everything, dog. And I mean everything. Yeah, it's insane, dog. Like literally, actually insane. But yeah, Bullseye, once again, Wilson's great as Bullseye, man. The couple times we get to see him, man. Yeah, man. The fight choreographies, bro. Like, you guys remember how my opinions of them using like digital doubles for some reason, though they filmed this on set, or on location rather, with the whole fight in the bar that we did see set photos leak when the show began filming, you know, under the new administration and everything, man. So yeah, that sequence I still think for the rest that doesn't happen for the rest of the show. They don't use digital doubles for really any other of the fights, man. Everything else is done, you know, on camera, and all the fights look incredible, man. Like Daredevil versus Muse was really good, man. There was this one with Wilson that I really enjoyed, man. All the fights, man, were done fantastic. The ones with Frank at the end of the season, man. There's like when we get the inevitable Daredevil and Punisher team up at the final episode, man. It's brilliant, man. Choreography was perfect. That whole sequence was honestly a highlight for me for the series, man. But yeah, so that was fucking awesome. Another thing that I gotta say is I also love the lawyer aspect of this show. Like this show, I have a feel now. And I don't know if they mentioned this before the series was reworked. I forget if they actually said this, but it seems like they were definitely gonna have, because I remember they said like Matt wasn't gonna wear this suit for like 6 episodes or something initially when the show first started filming and everything before it got reworked. And it was going to be way more of a law drama lawyer drama series, which you can definitely see it in the storyline with White Tiger Hector, which was also phenomenal, man. I really enjoyed that sequence, and so that was. I want to get more into that, but also we get into spoiler discussion and spoilers. But I really like those. Like I think that was like 2 episodes. I mean, that just was like maybe 1 episode. I forget which one it was. If this lasted like 2 episodes or it was like 1 episode. But either way, that whole subplot for a couple episodes, that mini arc was amazing, man. One of my favorite episodes was definitely the bank episode where, I'm going to say that for spoiler discussion, man. I'm going to say that for spoiler discussion because when we talk about, I believe that was like episode 3, I think it was. I really liked how they did with Vanessa and Wilson Fisk's relationship in this one. Like in here, man, we see Vanessa took over in the time between Daredevil season 3 and Echo and between this. We see that Vanessa took over the criminal empire, man. That Wilson reemerged, and that she has weird feelings about that whole thing, man. They're in marriage counseling with the girl that Matt is currently dating at the series, which I was kind of insane, crazy, where that ended up in the final episode. Which once again, we'll talk about that in the spoilers discussion. But I really like that what they did with Frank and Vanessa, with Wilson and Vanessa, man. The actress that played them, I'm not gonna try to pronounce it because I know I mispronounced it last time. She was brilliant, man. Vincent D'Onofrio was brilliant, man. I love those scenes between Wilson and Vanessa, and I'm really intrigued where they're taking their characters and how this will go into season 2 and where that will lead in the future, man. So I'm really excited to see where that whole thing goes. There's also a couple other characters I want to talk about that got introduced that were also from Chip Zdarsky's run that I want to talk about, man. That I thought was really cool to see them, although they seem to be taking some liberties with the character in particular, but we'll talk about that when we get that in the sports discussion, man. Action sequences is once again brilliant in this show, man. Like, oh yeah, the other sequence I love was during the Hector subplot when Matt is like interrogating one of the cops that is accusing Hector of murdering a cop when of course it was just an accident. That whole sequence where like Matt said, where because this takes place after I want to say that was maybe the 3rd episode. I forget which episode these were, where he where they get to got the guy that on the stand that was the guy that was a witness there that these cops were roughing up. That it was I believe he was like an informant for them, and they were roughing up, and Hector went to go save him, and Matt was trying to get him safe, get him secured so they could put him on the stand to once again corroborate their claims that this was all an accident. Whatnot, the cops are lying through their goddamn teeth, and they came in there to beat the shit out of him or kill them or whatnot. Matt beat the shit out of them, damn near broke one of their necks, and like just completely just like compound fractured into the guy's arm with blood coming out, man. Which I also gotta say, man, the blood in this show, they do not hold back on the violence. Like I said, they top the car door kill in season 1 and graphic gruesome detail, and then you got the final episode of the Punisher, man, where the characters are just bleeding like 90s anime characters, man, with just blood just shooting out everywhere. Like, it's actually insane, man, how much blood there was. But you have that whole sequence of that fight, man. Then when the cop will say it's a black guy from that battle and whatnot, and when Matt's when cross-examining him, he says, I heard you have a black eye. He's like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. He says, in boxing, they say the best cure for a black eye is fast hands. I love the whole time Matt is just shit talking this dude while he's on the stand, man. It was so funny that Matt was calling himself was legalese version box better. I love Matt, man. He was so funny. I gotta say, man, I love the comedy in this show, man. Now, you guys know, I'm not really one of those people that are really against or hate the MCU's type of comedy that they usually go with, man. Most of the time I find funny or I'm indifferent. Occasionally I do agree that the jokes go on for way too goddamn long and do take away from the moment. Like I mentioned, a couple of those that we saw in Captain America Brave New World. Shang-Chi was another one as well. But I usually don't mind it, man. I'm kind of indifferent to her. It just makes me laugh. I do love how comedy was incorporated, I should say, into Born Again. This is something I saw a lot of people tweeting about, is that this is really how comedy should be integrated in the MCU moving forward, man. Like, one of the favorite ones that I'm sure you guys have seen memes of everywhere is Matt cutting in. This was in episode 8. Matt cutting in there while Vanessa and Fisk are dancing, and him cutting in there, taking Vanessa and then starts dancing with her while Fisk just looks at him bro, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, bro, what the fuck? that look that Vincent D'Onofrio gives him, man, was fucking hilarious, man. So that was pretty cool, man. So the comedy was introduced was great, man. And yeah, I also want to quickly talk about this fat bastard, man. This fucking kid, one of the major characters in the show, man, that is a part of Wilson Fisk's a team of his political team or whatever, his cabinet or whatever. Michael, whatever how you pronounce his name, I'm not Italian, that plays Daniel Blake. He's a young guy, man. He's like their social media guy, and obviously, what the whole thing with him is that you could see him as a reflection of Wilson Fisk, that Fisk sees a lot of himself in this kid and is trying to mold him into the next one, man. But oh my god, the dick riding. The dick riding from this dude, man. This dude hangs around Fisk and all of a sudden thinks he's hot shit. And I don't know if the show wants me to take him serious or the show's actively laughing with me at this fucking fat bastard, this fucking dork, acting like he's some bad motherfucker all of a sudden, man, in the later episodes of the show, man, because oh my god, this dude acts like he's such hot shit in the last couple of episodes, man, threatening someone, man, and then the last episode he's talking to the rest of the council members or whatever, and be like, oh yeah, and writing down their names, and the dude, he even has the top button on his dress shirt unbuttoned, man, showing off a little bit of his chest thing, man, going on there, man. I'm like, bro, you are not him. I don't know if the show wants me to actually take this dude seriously and be like, yes, he is a threat, or is laughing, or is that's the joke and you're meant to be laughing at this fucking dude for thinking he's some bad motherfucker all of a sudden just because he hangs around Fisk. It's so funny how this dude just thinks he's hot shit. It's so funny. I cannot take this kid seriously at all. I do like his character, but he's definitely one of my favorite characters in season 2 just because he's so entertaining, and I'm just and he's just so ridiculous. I'm excited to see what they'll do with him in season 2. But yeah, So, yeah, I think that's about everything I can talk about without getting into obvious spoiler territory, man. This show is amazing, man. I love what they're doing with Fitz, how they're incorporating Chip Zdarsky's run. Although, interestingly, I did notice, I don't know if this was on credits for all the episodes, but on the last one, I did notice that Brian Michael Bendis was a consultant for this show, man, which is kind of interesting considering, they mostly adapted Chip Zdarsky's run. That's why they didn't bring Chip in to be the consulting producer. And so that, Brian had an incredible run on Daredevil as well. And also they're using bits of that in here as well, like bringing in Echo from, when giving her own show in Hawkeye and everything. But, so yeah, I thought that was I thought it was a little interesting. I was like, hey, cool to see Bendis getting that bag, man. Or at least I assume he is, and I hope he gets paid for this. But that was cool to see. That was a pleasant surprise. And yeah, I think that's about everything I can talk about. I can get into the show without getting the spoilers, man. I love this show, man. I love when Frank and Matt finally met up for the first time, man. Like I said, when you have the beer and everything, man. And they have this huge little moment, man, about Foggy and like no lie, man. While I was watching, I also wanted them to hug, like the one these two to hug, and like just for us, the fans, be like, "Don't worry, man. We're back. You're good now. You're safe. We are here. Marvel Netflix is back." But just for the fans, like, "Don't worry, it's okay now." You know what I mean? Like I remember some people were like hoping when, and I believe this was episode 7, it might have been 6, when Daredevil saved someone from Muse. He said, "I'm here now," and people were like really wishing that that's where that could have marked the end of when they were using the old footage from Born Again before it got reworked, and then this was all the start of all new footage, which I believe the last couple of episodes were all new shows. I think they only reused like 6 episodes or 5 or 6 episodes of the rest of the show. The rest of it was new stuff, including the first episode, which we actually learned that episode 2 was going to be the original first episode of Born Again before it got reworked, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, man, I feel like I said, I think all I can talk without getting into spoilers, man. My only negatives of the show was obviously like the body doubles, man. You guys know I was angry about Foggy dying, which I still am, but then after the episode had aired and we got confirmation that both Foggy and Karen are going to be returning in season 2, they're both confirmed for season 2. And then I actually saw, like, afterwards, there were some people pointing out that it was actually from the comics as well. There was a comic arc where Foggy did fake his death, so it looks like this is something from the comics as well. It isn't like some new thing they just did for the show, which I thought was interesting, man. So I'm curious to see where that's going to go, especially considering about Vanessa and everything, man. But we'll talk about the spoiler discussion. And one other theme that I thought was weird was that there's an argument saying this is probably a layover from the previous creative team, where Matt and his girlfriend who is a marriage consultant, he's like doing marriage counseling for Will Smith and Vanessa, which I do wish had a little bit of a bigger role, man. We only see that in like a couple episodes, and I wish they kind of got a bit more expansion on it, man. But hey, whatever. Where they're arguing because she was like a victim of Muse. Muse had kidnapped her and was about to kill her, and then of course Daredevil shows up there, beats the shit out of them, and saves the day. And they have this whole argument about vigilantes in it, and it just didn't really make sense of how she was like Daredevil saved, where Matt says Daredevil saved you, and he's like, it's like, no, I saved myself. And it did feel like a retread of what we saw with Frank and Matt, but just not as good. And like I said, this was probably a layover from the already pre-filmed episodes and whatnot, but that whole sequence I thought was a little bit weird. But yeah, in terms of flaws, that's all I got for you guys in terms of Born Again, man. Like I said, this show is a fucking masterpiece. So, give you guys my final verdict, and then we'll get into spoiler discussion. But so anyway, guys, overall, my final verdict of the show, to the surprise of absolutely nobody, is a 10 out of fucking 10, ladies and gentlemen. As always, like I said, this is where we get spoilers, so you guys do not want to get spoiled, leave now. Now, let's get into the big one, man. Holy shit, that fucking Great Khali kill. Like, I did not think in Born Again or ever we would ever see, a future Daredevil or Marvel property featuring the Kingpin would go and try and top that really gruesome graphic kill of, fist smashing a dude's head in with a car door from season 1. You embarrassed me in front of her. That whole sequence, man. But here came Born Again being like, nah, we'll top it. We will do it better. In the final episode, man, referencing the goddamn Great Khali of all people, man. Now, I do not know if this is just happenstance or one of the showrunners or somebody that works on the show, man, is a big WWE fan and just wanted and was real. And the Ruthless Aggression era was their era, man, because I did not think I would see Wilson Fisk kill a man using the same move that the Great Khali used as one of his finishers when he, during like the build to Unforgiven 07, that triple threat match between him, Batista, and Rey Mysterio for the World Heavyweight Championship, man, where if you guys remember that episode of SmackDown, I only know because I got the DVD of Unforgiven 07, like obviously having like the promo package of the Great Khali smashing Rey Mysterio's skull into where blood is coming out of his mouth, man. Insane spot, man. Insane visual of that. And to actually see that, like, hell, here's what actually would happen if, this wasn't wrestling and it wasn't, predetermined and all that. And, they actually, and Great Khali actually wanted to smash someone's skull in, which, y'all remember, like, actually after the show itself, man, they had his manager, like, hand the Great Khali fruit to demonstrate his strength and how big his hand was. Like, he had what was it, like a cantaloupe, I believe it was, that he had as Rey Mysterio's head, putting one of his masks over it, man, and he like instantly smushed it, and then a watermelon was Batista's head, and it took him a second to like fully smash it. Crazy stuff, man. And like you see his hand go through his head, his jaw is completely dislocated on one side, man. Blood is everywhere. Like I said, it's very graphic. The camera's really up close, man. It's very much practical effects, man. They leave nothing to the imagination, and it was just such a gruesome kill. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, you guys saw me tweeting about it. I was in absolute shock at this whole thing, man. I was absolutely flabbergasted at that spot, man. Like I said, I did not expect to see a Great Khali reference in Daredevil Born Again. That was not in my 2025 bingo card to see that, man. But yet here we are. So shout out to the Great Khali. I still can't get over that, man. That was so crazy, man. Now, in episode 2, we got to see, I believe it was episode 2, it might have been episode 3, or it might be a little bit later than that one, but we got to see Kamala Khan's dad at the bank when Matt went there. I think he was looking for like a loan or something for the law firm he's now working at. And he's meeting with Kamala's dad, and that leads to a whole bank robbery, which is also one of my favorite episodes of Born Again, was a bank robbery episode. It was just so fun. And of course, you get that really gruesome kill of just Matt destroying someone's leg. No way in hell, man, ain't coming out from that without like a limp or something, man. Like that was crazy, man. When he just like leaps halfway across the street just to completely to break his leg, man. Woo! Ooh, that did not look pretty, man. That looked painful. That was great. That was hardcore, man. But that also was fun, and like Matt talking with him, and of course he mentions Kamala and everything, and then he like invites Matt over to like dinner in Jersey to meet Kamala and everything, man. It was a fun episode, and he also gets some of his candy and whatnot, man. Like I said, I did not think in terms of like cameos or other Marvel characters making an appearance, I did not think we would get Kamala's dad of all people, but it was a nice pleasant surprise, which does make me wonder if we may see Kamala in season 2. Now, obviously, you guys know me. When Matt says that we got to build an army, he needs a team to face off against Fisk and his task force, man. You guys know that I want the fucking Defenders. I want all of them. I want Spider-Man, which we do get a mention of in the second episode, where Fisk does mention Spider-Man, not by name, but he does say someone dressing like a spider, which, as a Spider-Man fan, that warmed my soul, man. I was so happy with that, man. Obviously, I want to see him. Now, as you guys know, Born Again Season 2 is currently filming right now, and so far, none of the set photos leaked have shown us any new characters, at least as far as I know, that will be appearing, man. No word of yet that if the Defenders are indeed confirmed to be coming, if we're going to get Kamala, who's going to be part of this team. We haven't got nothing. All we know is that Daredevil is going to be wearing the Shadowlands, so I think it's what's called the black one, and it will have the double D on it. Finally, it took us over 10 years since the original series dropped, but we finally got Matt wearing costume with the double D on it, which I appreciate, man. And it looks amazing, man. From the set photos we've seen, man, this black costume looks incredible, man. So we have that, man. That was amazing as well, man. The whole Hector Ayala story was great, man, with the White Tiger. And, it ended with Hector dying from, which at first I thought the Punisher killed because we see the skull, but we learned that's basically Cole North, who you guys know is part of Chip Zdarsky's run on Daredevil, which, like I said before in the spoiler-free discussion, man, it does seem like they're taking massive liberties with his character, because if I remember correctly, and don't quote me if I'm, and don't quote me on this, because I could be wrong, because, I haven't gone back and read Chip Zdarsky's run since I finished up, especially like the early stuff. But in there, man, I believe if I remember correctly, Cole's whole thing was that he was very anti-vigilante. He did not like them at all, and that was his thing as a detective. And of course, he was kind of a prom detective, man. A lot of the other cops didn't like him in Chicago, so that's why how he got moved to New York City. Well, here, man, he definitely idolizes the Punisher, man. He wears the Punisher skull on his bulletproof vest. His bullets have Punisher engraving on the bullets themselves on it, man. He is obviously someone that does admire and respect and look up to the Punisher. So that has me kind of weirded out about that, because like I said, that goes against his character. He also does not get a lot of focus as well, which sucks, because Cole North was such an amazing character, man. I loved him in Chip Zdarsky's run, so I was hoping we'd have a bit more focus. Now, to be fair, with season 2, man, that might change. Like, he'll have much better focus. We'll see his backstory and everything, man, and it'll be a much better, because he's not even really the leader of this task force, anti-vigilante task force. It's really the white guy that was beating up on that Hector accidentally killed his partner of. That's really who seems to be like the main guy as part of this task force. So hopefully, and he has also done well. Look, he seems to be like older than he's supposed to be in the comics, man, because he has gray hair. Well, you guys know in the comics he was like black hair, a black goatee, man, no gray on him at all, man. He seemed to be way younger than that compared to how he was. That compared to how he was born in. He doesn't even have the goatee either, man. So that kind of stuff. But like I said, we can see that in season 2, man. Season 2 will get his backstory about Chicago. They might explain more on why he's even idolizing the Punisher, or his stance of vigilantes and all that, considering how he was in the comics. It was kind of different. I mean, he is on the anti-vigilante perhaps that is there, but like I said, he's like idolizing the Punisher and wearing his skull when he did it in the comics, so I thought that was a little bizarre. So hopefully in season 2 they expand on that, like I mentioned before, they expand on that, and we get to see more of Cole North in season 2, because I love this character from Chip Zdarsky's run. So we got the whole thing with Vanessa during their therapy session, where we find that Vanessa, during the time between Daredevil season 3 and now, that she had met some other guy and kind of had a fling going on with her. Fisk obviously learned about this and seemingly have the dude killed, or in fact we found that he's actually still alive, and Matt and Fisk has literally just been keeping him down in some basement, and then you got this whole thing with him, man, and then eventually he lets him out. I forget what his name was, Alan or something, I forget what the dude's name was, and then it kind of ends with him having this duel with Fisk, where he gives him an axe, so he has a snowball chance to handle beating him, and they have a fight to the death, which Fisk obviously wins, man. And I believe by that point we're bringing Vanessa to let her know that she is still alive. Dude starts begging for his life, but he ends up not dying, and then Vanessa is the one that actually shoots and kills him, man, which is pretty insane when that happened, man. Vanessa sends out a hit on Wilson, which we see when he goes to a restaurant to eat some dinner, man, which is insane, man. I'm really curious what they're going to do with Vanessa. She's now sending out hits on Fisk, man, and seemingly hired Bullseye to also kill her in episode 8, which was the big episode that Vincent D'Onofrio, Matt, and Charlie were really pushing and saying I'm looking forward to that episode in particular, which was one of the best episodes this year, man. And I love, once again, it brought back the aspect ratio change thing from the first episode, which you guys know I absolutely love that stuff. So that was really cool as well, man. I love that. We learned that she was also the one that had Foggy killed, man, which I said that isn't even the comics, so cares where that's gonna go, man. We don't see Foggy's body. I thought we were gonna see Foggy's body, and this would lead into season 2 that Foggy is still, because I said he has been confirmed along with Karen to be appearing in season 2. That I thought we were gonna see him in his little basement, next to Fisk, next to Frank or something. No, we still don't see any sign that Foggy is still alive and that his death was faked. So who knows? Maybe they'll bring him in there as maybe when they say he's confirmed, that means he's just coming back for flashbacks and he actually isn't going to be brought back from the dead. Or, this is the case where Bullseye and Vanessa faked his murder and she has him chilling in a different location. We don't know. So I'm really, that's one of the things I'm most excited for, just to see what happens between Vanessa and Fisk, because there's definitely a stray on the relation, man. Wilson's once again incredible bullseye, man. We have this whole episode where he like breaks out. This is the episodes with 8 as well, where he breaks out of prison, man, using a tooth to like kill someone, man, getting out of restraints, and then leaves the prison and, you know, goes to kill Fisk, but Mac jumps in there to stop him, man. Amazing episode, man. Episode 8 was easily one of the best ones, man. Muse, I haven't really talked much about Muse, man. I thought he was a fantastic villain. I really like what they do with him, man. And it does kind of suck that they killed that we have Frank, that we have Matt's girlfriend shoot and kill him. I would have loved to see Muse like stick around, man. That was definitely a shocker when while they were fighting, that she managed to grab a gun and shoots him down, man, which was pretty insane, man. We also see the painting from season 3 makes an appearance in like in the basement area where he was keeping Vanessa's past lover. And now where all the like ex-criminals, like, where he keeps Frank and all of his enemies down in there, including the guy from Hawkeye, man, that like suave mustache dude from Hawkeye with some legs, and he was another surprise character. Like, oh shit, we got him in here too as well. Okay, like I said, there were a lot of surprise characters that are coming in from past Marvel shows that I did not think we would see, man. So yeah, and I am kind of curious to see how Kamal's going to get introduced. Are we going to see her as part of Daredevil's task new army that he's building up, man? Are we going to see him come over to Jersey? Or are we going to see Daredevil pop up in Miss Marvel 2 if she gets season 2, if she gets a second season, man? Like, I would be down to see him and Kamal interact, man. I think that'd be kind of fun, man, and to see more of Matt and her father, because I really like their dynamic and their dynamic in the episode when they were together, man. That was fun. BB, we gotta talk about BB, man. We gotta talk about BB. So you guys remember that Ben Urich died in season 1 at the hands of Fisk when, you know, he was like, he's like when he said, "So I am not here to threaten you. No, I am here to kill you." And then went to kill him. Well, we find out that actually BB had a daughter. I forget if it was his daughter or it might have been like his niece. I forget which one it was. But BB's kind of taken over the family business, man. She's a reporter in her own right, has her own little like YouTube series or whatnot going on there, and called the BB Report, you know, reporting on the news in New York City and all that shit. We see, intermittently we do see throughout the series of her interviewing local civilians about vigilantes and whatnot, man. Very street level stuff, which I like. And we actually found out that she's actually friends with the fuck boy that thinks he's Wilson Fisk just because he's in his presence, man. And they're friends, man. Like, you know, he even threatens her to tries to threaten her. Like I said, this dude acts like he's hot shit when he's not. It's really funny, man. It's like, bro, I cannot take you seriously at all. Trying to like make her to say more of a positive role or make a positive report on Wilson Fisk as on Mayor Fisk. So you got that, man. You also got her interacting with the police commissioner, who, of course, you know, dies at the end because he wanted to try and go to Supreme Court to get Fisk out of there, man. But he had them killed by himself, by his bare hands, like the Great Khali style, man. Which I still can't go over that kill, man. That kill was fucking brutal, man. That shit was brutal. But she's in there, man, and she definitely has suspicions that Fisk is the one that killed her, that killed Ben Urich. So I'm really excited to see more of BB, man. I love the little bits of her we got to see in season 1, and hopefully get to see more of her in season 2, man. So, and I love the little interaction she had with Fisk when they met up finally, man. That was pretty fun, man. And yeah, I think that's about everything I can talk about Born Again, man. I'm probably missing something that I should be talking about, but I think I talked about all the major points that I wanted to talk about, man. Born Again was fucking crowd, man. I'm excited for season 2, man. Also love the little bit with Frank when he was talking with one of Fisk's task force named Anthony, and he's like, "Hey, Anthony," and then he like breaks his arm and like starts hitting him against the cell. Which also, I was gonna talk about the task force, Fisk's task force. A lot of, not all of these guys worship and they idolize the Punisher. Now, if you guys know, this is kind of based on reality, how there is a lot of cops and military people that do idolize the Punisher, and, you know, there's people controversy, and there's like controversy about that, like, yo, should law enforcement be into the Punisher, right? Having his skull on their cars and whatnot, man, which is a whole conversation I'm not going to get into. But if you guys do remember, that was actually from where they kind of top of this in the comics. So you guys remember in Matthew Rosenberg's Run of the Punisher, which you guys know I covered many, many years ago when that book was publishing. They did an issue on that where like Frank met with some cops that were big fans of the Punisher, and they did a whole issue on that. Well, not whole issue, it was like a page or two in an issue. But they did mention it, man, where he like picks up the sticker that they had on his car and ripped it up and said like, you swore an oath, I did. You swore to a badge, I didn't. Which I liked. I like that sequence in the Punisher in that comic, and we kind of get that in the Punisher in here, man. But I was kind of hoping they would do a little bit more with it, like they did with Matthew Rosenberg comic. And here he just like laughs at these guys and just calls them clowns. Which now maybe in season 2 we might get more of that. They might expand on this, and where we see Frank meeting up with these guys some more, and once again lecturing some more, because all we really get is him calling them clowns and saying like, you think you understand my pain? You think you know my pain? Which it was a great season, and of course John Bernthal's amazing in there as always, man. But I do wish we got more of that one. But like I said, we might get that in season 2, or they might expand on that and give it a bigger sequence, man, where they like really hammer home about that whole thing, which I would like to see in season 2. But who knows? I like the scene for Godman, but I wish they did more with it than what they did with it in season 1. But yeah, I think it's everything. But yeah, I think now I've talked about everything I want to talk about with Born Again, man. This video is probably over 30 minutes long, so I'm just gonna end it here, man. Anyway, guys, hope you guys did the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me so you feel like it. Links to trust below, and it's also back for more. See you guys next time.